Okay, I have a good news for you. I'm the last speaker today. So, and I'm very happy to say that, because probably you will remember me better, simply because I told you that. Well, I represent Language Просвещение, which is a company that used to be just an exclusive distributor of PSN on the territory of Russia. And now we're joined with another educational monster here in Russia, that's Просвещение. So that is why I think that what I'm going to talk about today is supported by two huge companies, by global educational company PSN and publishing house Просвещение that provides course books for schools, has been providing course books for our Russian schools for many years. Well, my contacts and contacts of our company are there. We are based in Moscow, but we work all over Russia and have representatives in many regions of our huge country. And I know that many people here knows PSN, and today we're going to talk about assessment. So another reason why I am so happy to be the last speaker today is that I've heard so much interesting things from my colleagues on this stage that gave me wonderful ideas for my talk. So otherwise I wouldn't know mine. So this is one reason. Another reason is that really English stopped being just an asset of one or two nations. English is global now, and it is no longer a luxury. That is why talking about international qualifications, it is not nice to have, but a need to have now. And also, so in one of the presentations, there was a question about learning ecosystem or learning environment. It was in a discussion, but we haven't answered the question what learning environment or learning ecosystem really is. So we will start with a SWOT analysis of teaching to test. First of all, I'd like to ask you a question. Who is teaching for exams? Who is teaching exam classes among you? So, cool, quite a number of people, right? So, and what do you think about teaching for tests? I know that students in schools, as I have been working in a school, and I was preparing my students for YEGE and OGE, and I know that they hate lessons when they're given tests to drill. So what do you think about the effectiveness of such classes? Just share your opinions, you can speak from your place. What do you think? Can be an exam preparation class effective from the point of view of language proficiency, from the point of view of language skills necessary for communication? Opinion for your thought? Pretty boring, right? I agree with you, and many students agree. It's boring, but I'm talking about effectiveness. Do they develop their language skills at these lessons that they will need for communication in the future? Why not? In fact, right, but mainly exam classes are about drilling students on a particular type of a question. And that is why it involves quite a lot of memorizing, not always understanding, and sometimes even guessing. That is why test preparation classes or teaching for exams get quite a lot of quite bad reputation, so to speak. But how to make exam preparations, but we can't do without it. We have already mentioned that our YG in English is just, it is our forthcoming future, and we need to be prepared for that. So, what are the secrets of exam success? They are comprised of 3 things, actually. Almost 60%. Of course, this is the knowledge of the subject. These are language skills, actually. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. And also knowledge of grammar and vocabulary. But it also contains 2 more factors which are really essential. These are knowing exam strategies and also emotional disposition, emotional readiness for exams, so to speak, exam immunity. And how to help our students to do that. Because if we design an exam preparation course thoughtfully, if we set right objectives, if we make them student-centered, our exam preparation classes can be quite effective and have a good result and have a good impact on the development of all communication skills. So how to do that? So, you know, preparing students for international qualifications might be kind of answer to the question, because preparing them for international qualifications with the right materials, we can help them to develop this exam immune system, and we can help them to develop these, to learn these exam strategies. And of course, if our students try to pass and get international qualifications starting from an early age, passing young learners exams, it motivates them greatly because they can see their achievement, and it is a powerful motivation for them to improve their skills and to master the language further. So part of my slides are in Russian because usually we speak about exams to Russian-speaking audience, because people don't know about that. But as long as I'm presenting in English, it's like a presentation with Russian subtitles. Okay? So I know that it's not a common for a presenter to have slides in a different language, but I decided not to change it deliberately. For you to maybe to remember better the benefits of passing international exams. Okay, so and what international qualifications, what international exams do you know? What can you name? Just speak from your place. Louder. TOEFL, IELTS, good. Something else? CAE, Cambridge exams, right? TOEFL, IELTS, Cambridge exams. I'm not waiting for anything else, because these are the exams that everyone knows. But in fact, there are much more to that. There are many, many more. And so of course, the TOEFL, IELTS, and Trinity and Cambridge exams. Have you heard anything about Pearson test of English? Who has heard? Just raise your hands. Okay, great. Some of you who prepare students to pass these exams or considers preparing students to take this exam. No one, because everyone prepares for Cambridge, I know. Right, okay. So, nothing bad about Cambridge. So, I know I have passed Cambridge exams myself. And can you tell the difference between, let's say, IELTS and Cambridge Advanced? Is there any difference between them? Do you know what it is? Any ideas? To enter university, right? For not for ourselves, but to identify the level of our language proficiency. Right. So, have you heard anything about? So, what is the difference, for example, for BEC? Business English, so for professionals. That is why we can put all the international qualifications in 3 big groups. Let's go. It's not working. I don't know why. Can you change the slide? Okay. Yes. So, okay. So we can put them into 3 big groups. First of all, these are exams to identify our general English proficiency. They are, so we need, so probably it's just, it needs to be charged. I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so can you change it for me so far? Okay, so I'll try to do it myself. Okay, just to change slides. Yes, and all these qualifications are don't have just they are lifelong. As for academic exams, they are valid only. Let's talk about IELTS. They are valid only for 2 years, right? And as for professional, yes, it works. Okay, thank you. As for professional qualifications, including BEC and LCCI, they are also lifelong and professionals need them. As for Pearson exams, they are presented in every type of international qualifications. So PTE General, this is general level of language. PTE Academic, this is an academic qualification. And LCCI, this is the London Chamber of Commerce and Industry examination is also Pearson exam. Why not so many people know about? What's wrong? Yeah. Why not so many people know about Pearson exams? What's best? Can you recognize this building? Which university? Cambridge, right? And very many people know that Cambridge, this is something you can rely on, right? It's very reliable institution. That is why everyone trusts Cambridge exams. Another picture, another slide. So, can you recognize this place? What's this? It's not Oxford University. It's London University, which is which is also a very reliable institution and which is behind Pearson exams. So people don't recognize the name of the exams because they used to be London exams, and they are really just old, because in 1955 they were London tests of English. Then the company, American company Pearson, started owning them, and maybe that's the reason why people just didn't know what Pearson is. But today I'm going to tell you something about this company. Okay, go on. It's a little bit slow. Okay, so Pearson tests of English are represented by 3 types of exams. Today I'm going to talk about PTE for young learners and PTE general. Universities you need to check first, because some educational institutions accept results but some don't. For some educational institutions you need to pass IELTS. Okay, can you change again? So these are some educational institutions that accept results of PTE. And among them you can see quite respectable names. Go on, please. So, why Pearson tests of English are so great? First and foremost, as you will see further along, they test practical lifelong skills. And while preparing for international examinations, children and teenagers and adults get a positive experience of passing international exams, because they are taken in a very friendly atmosphere, and especially for kids. It's a game-like, and you will see a video today. And they are correlated with other international exams, including Cambridge exams. You will see it on the scale. And they are, which is more important, they are correlated with our national OGE and YEGE examinations. And they can be used as a course of preparation for our national exams. And they don't contradict, which is really important for state schools, they don't contradict our course, right? As for the skills tested, as the majority of the exams, the reading, writing, listening and speaking are tested, but it is an integrated exam, and when you see the types of tasks, you will see that the tasks sometimes the task is not just pure listening, but listening and writing, or just reading and listening, reading and writing. So they check integrated skills. And what is more important, you know that one of the most difficult parts of all examinations is the called use of English, which in fact doesn't have any practical application. It's like maths, as the previous speaker was talking about, right? So it is useful, but it doesn't have a direct practical application, and the majority of test takers make mistakes, particularly in this area, in Cambridge exams and in our national YEGE examination. The level for of completing a use of English parts for YEGE, as far as I remember, was less than 60%. And that's in comparison to, of course, writing is traditionally a very difficult part in every exam, but compared to listening and reading and even speaking, it's a very low result. In Pearson test of English, there is no such parts, because grammar and vocabulary and language, use of language, is tested in these integrated tasks through reading, writing, speaking, because the criteria involves the analysis of the successful use of language. Okay, so can we change the slide? The results are assessed in Great Britain by experts, specially prepared for this purpose. And what is interesting, every part of PTE is checked by a separate expert. Because as being an examiner and examiner myself and an expert myself, I know very well that we teachers are often get biased by for example, some results. But if a student doesn't show good results, for example, in writing, we are trying to find more mistakes in his listening part or in his reading part, and so on and so forth. We already think that he is not successful, probably because we didn't like his writing. It will never happen in Pearson test of English, because every single part of the test is checked by a separate expert. They don't communicate between each other, and then all the results are put together. And besides, thanks to the fact that the certificate, which is lifelong, provides a detailed analysis of the mistakes made at the examination. It can be used as kind of feedback for further development, for further work, for further improvement for your students. Can I move along? So this is an example of performance reports for examination. One more click. Okay. So this is an example of performance report. Move on. These are the dates when you can pass, when you can take Pearson test of English. You need to register 1 month before the written exam, and the exam is taken in 2 separate dates, or the spoken part can be taken prior the written part or right after it. Okay, so move on. So I'm going to talk about PTE Young Learners and PTE General today. As I have said, it can be adjusted to the age along the path our school children go through in our schools, in Russian schools. For primary schools, we can recommend taking first word, springboard, quick match or breakthrough levels for young learners. You see that we always have a choice, because these age frames are just are not mandatory, because they can be different. If your students are ready to take an exam at a higher level, they can try it. So as for just secondary school, lower secondary school, they can continue taking young learner exams, as well as they can move to Pearson test of English General. And for senior school, for 10th and 11th form, of course, these are exams PT General. So, can we move on? These are types of tasks. As you see, both our examinations in listening have multiple choice as well as a Pearson test of English. Multiple matching tasks, also both exams. As for true, false, not stated, this is in our examination. But instead of that, in Pearson test of English, we have gap fill and dictation. You can be surprised that because not many exams give the tasks like gap fill or dictation. But just think how they are going to use the language in their lives. Are they going to answer true-false questions when they are at work? Probably not. But probably they will be supposed to take telephone messages, or maybe to take notes during a lecture at a university in English. And these are lifelong skills which they will need in their future. Move on. The same about reading. Also multiple choice in both types of exams and multiple matching. Gap fill, true, false, not stated in our examination. Note taking in Pearson test of English. Note taking is much more relevant for practical skills in the future. As for writing, both have personal and essay. As for Pearson test of English, they provide choice. For the last writing task, they provide choice among two types of writings. It can be an article, it can be a story, it can be an essay. We will talk about it in greater details tomorrow at my workshops, where I'm going to share my experience in how to prepare for Pearson test of English General and how to prepare for these tasks, these combined tasks, right? Not just purely listening, purely reading, because in fact in life we never need only one skill. We need them in a combination. So I will be talking about it tomorrow in 2 sessions, and you will be able to join me if you are interested. So as for PT young learners, isn't it too early? There was speaking before. I don't know. Okay. Oh, PT young learners. Okay. So PT young learners. As I have already said, they have 4 levels of proficiency. They speak for themselves. These are first words that's at the level approximately when they are able just to pronounce first words in English, right? So it's a level, level less than A1. Then springboard, breakthrough, and quick match. So breakthrough is the last, quick match and breakthrough. And all the exams are connected, the whole exam material is connected by the same characters. This is the Brown family, and children doing the test just read what is going on, what is happening with the members of this family. It's an ordinary family, mother, father, 4 children, and the pet. They go to the zoo, they go to the cinema, they solve their everyday problems, and all the materials of the exams are based on this value. Okay, and the oral parts of PT young learners This is a board game. It is not just one-to-one an examiner and and the test taker, which is really stressful for young children. But it is a game. The test is taken in a group approximately up to 5 children. There can be less, but there can't be more. And they play a board game. I will show you it a little bit later. Okay, let's move on. So, just to sum up, PTE Young Learners, it is stress-free, child-friendly exam, really interesting for children and easy to do. Okay, go on. I was talking about the levels. First words, this corresponds starter level, and it is pre-A1. As for breakthrough, that's A2 plus on SEFR up to B1. But take a look. We have SEFR, Common European Framework of Reference, which everyone knows. But there is something else, Global Scale of English. Who has heard about Global Scale of English and what is it? Has anybody heard? Okay, so this is the scale that appeared approximately 2 years ago, a scale created by Pearson. It is worked out by Pearson, and Pearson calls it a gift to the world. Why? I will explain you in just in a few sentences. First of all, it is fully compatible to Common European Framework of Reference, which we are used to. But Global Scale of English is more granular. Why is it so important? You know, when your students are at the level, let's say B1, are all of them at the same level? No, far from it. Especially, it is noticeable at higher levels. When I have classes, for example, of business classes, business English classes in a company, and I have very busy people who come to me at a level B1, and they finish the course, and they remain at the same B1 level, because to move to B2, they need quite a lot of work, and they need to acquire quite a lot of complicated vocabulary, right? Probably they will need to stay on the same level for another year, for another course. But it is so demotivating. If it is a business person who pays you money, he says, I was at this level last year, and I'm at the same level now. What's the point? But if you show him even his smallest progress with the help of Global Scale of English, and you will show that he was in B1 at the beginning, and now he is almost at B2, but he needs some more work. So you can find all the information on Global Scale of English online, just if you Google or if you use the links I have at the end of my presentation. Besides, Pearson have created not just this scale, but they have created a really smart tool for teachers, which is absolutely free. You can also Google it. It is called a Global Scale of English Teacher Toolkit. With the help of this toolkit, like in an online shop, you choose just the type of your learner, you choose the level on the frame, which is shown alongside to Common European Framework, and you will be able to see what you need if you are not sure about Global Scale of English yet. And you will get a list of objectives for every skill, if it is listening, whether it is listening or reading, or maybe if it is business English, what business communication skills your students need to form at a certain level. But this tool is not only about objectives, learning objectives. It is also about grammar and vocabulary. There will be a slide which will show you that, but if you join me tomorrow, I will be able to show it to you live in the internet. And if you still have power, energy tonight, you can Google it at home, just as I have said, Global Scale of English Teacher Toolkit, and you will see how it works. It is free, you don't need to pay for it, you can use it. And you can download all the results, and you can download all the materials for grammar, and you can download all the lists of words for the certain level with translation, word families, word combinations, and so on and so forth. It is great for creating your own materials, for creating assessment materials, and for many, many other things. Okay, so as I have said, all the peculiarities and advantages of Pearson test of English for young learners, that they take into consideration the age of test takers, that we have created programs for every level with the steps how to prepare for every certain part or type of task. And again, tomorrow I will show you some samples. And that it is objective and reliable. We can skip this slide. These are just examples of the tasks. PTE Young Learners consists of written module and oral module. So let's go to the written module first. That's how the written module is taken. Each test taker sits separately at a separate desk, and during the spoken module, children sit around the table with the examiner, and they play this game. Okay, move on. So the written parts, the tasks there are 3 parts: listening, reading, and writing. Can you move on? So move on. As I have said, this is the Brown family that unites all the parts of the test. The examples of tasks, if it is listening, multiple choice, it can be pictures at a lower level or just texts at a higher level. Also multiple matching, pictures, words, answering open questions, answering questions in listening too. And as for writing, this is gap fill, putting verbs into the correct form. This is past simple, only past simple for young learners, no other tense. Then, as for writing, these are, it can be a story with prompts, or answering the questions depending on the level, or it is a picture story. There is a set of pictures, and children just write a story using these pictures. Go on. Again, let's look at the oral part. There will be a video. There's a hyperlink. So these are cards that are used for monologues and for board game. These are questions. And the next cards are used for monologues. Can you click on this picture to show the video and open it full screen? Yes, open it full screen, please.
Hello everybody. Hi. My name is Kasia. We're going to play the board game, and then we're going to do the short talks. Kuba, can you please choose a counter?
Red.
Bartek?
Red with stripes.
Okay. Victoria? Yellow. Olivia?
Blue.
And Anya.
Green.
Thank you. So let's start the board game. Anya, you're first. Roll the dice.
It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And ask Olivia.
What was the weather like yesterday? Yesterday was hot and rainy.
Olivia, it's your turn.
2. 1, 2.
And ask Victoria.
How much homework did you do yesterday? I did Polish homework.
Victoria, it's your turn.
1.
And ask Bartek.
What time do you go to bed in the school holidays? 11 p.m.
Bartek, here you are. Roll the dice.
Okay. I have 3. 1, 2, 3. Which are better, winter holidays or summer holidays?
I think summer holidays are better.
Okay.
And Kuba, roll the dice, please.
1.
And ask Anya.
How many times a day do you brush your teeth?
I brush my teeth 3 times a day.
Now, Kuba, roll the dice one more time, please.
2. 1, 2.
And ask Bartek.
What is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football.
Bartek, roll the dice.
And it's 2. 1, 2. Who cooks the best food in your family?
My mom cooks the best food in my family.
Okay.
Victoria, it's your turn. Oh, one more time, please.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many shops are there near your house?
Near my house are 3 shops.
Olivia, roll the dice, please.
2. 1. What do you like doing with your parents? I like, for example, watch films in the cinema with my parents.
Anya, roll the dice. And the last question is for Kuba.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How did you come to school today?
I walked to school today.
Okay, thank you. Let's clean up the game. Thank you. Counters and dice. Thank you. Okay. Now, going to do the short talks. Here are the topic cards. Okay. Anya, can you start? Choose a card, please. What's your topic?
Some of my friends. Okay, so I tell you about my friends from your side. My first friend is Summer. Her name is Summer, and She's 10. She has got long brown hair and blue eyes. She likes bananas, but she hates pineapples. She can do air yoga and she can dance. And she can skate or swim. Casey is 10 too. She's friendly and clever. She has got long brown hair and green eyes. She likes apples. She can swim very well and she can't dance.
Thank you. Has anyone got a question, Vanya? Olivia?
How did you meet your friend Summer? Oh, I met Summer when I was rollerblading in the park. And I had an accident and Summer helped me.
Victoria, what do you do?
Okay, so I need to explain here that, in the second part of speaking, children were supposed to have a monologue, and after that, other children ask questions. It is not necessarily. If other children ask questions, they can improve their mark for the speaking part. But if they don't want to, their mark is not going to be lower. They will get what they deserve. So that is why these exams are really, really students friendly. And so we had an exam. I just was in such a situation when very small children at the level first wards, when the exam was over, didn't want to leave the room. They just, they said, we want to play more. Is it over? They were surprised. So it is absolutely stress-free and it motivates students and prepares them for further exams. Okay, so let's move on. So just change the slide. Okay, so we can skip that. And now PTE General. So as for peculiarities of these exams, again, if it is a boy, he will get about questions about sports, but not about fashion. So there is a choice of from 4 sets of questions. Go on. This section 11, which is missed from levels A2 and level 1, A1 and level 1. This is discussion, because at those levels simply the students are not able to perform this task. Again, if at level 2, for example, the question for discussion is very simple, at level 4 and at level 5, it is going to be more abstract and involve some serious issues. Okay. Then picture description. At lower level there is only one picture which can be described just what is going on there, and that's it. At higher levels there will be 2 pictures, and it is necessary to compare not just the pictures but the ideas, the notions represented in those pictures. Cool. And the last task is role play. Again, at lower levels, it might be just a situation in a shop or ordering food in a restaurant or booking tickets on the phone. Whereas at higher levels, it can be a task like, for example, the situation was the examination this year. Someone trespassed your private property, and you want the man to leave your garden. The man insists on looking around and seeing your house because he believes that that's the house where Shakespeare used to live. You need to explain that he's mistaken and to show him the right direction to the place he's looking for. So, and in this situation, there is a kind of conflict, and a test taker is supposed to solve this problem politely, being culturally aware. So that is why sometimes there are funny situations. There are situations when a test taker just explains patiently with all the apologies and so on and so forth. And there was a situation when a girl just tried to threaten this the interlocutor with the dog that she keeps somewhere in her house, and to make him leave the garden. So that's also not just knowledge of language skills, knowledge of language, but it's also cultural awareness and the ability to communicate in such situations. Go on. So, to sum up, Pearson test of English, just to remind you, the London University is behind them. They are integrated with the majority of level courses. They can be, they are aligned step by step from the young learners up to grown-ups. They are adjusted to the common European framework of references. And also they can guarantee the reliability and lifelong certificates. Okay, so let's move on. But now I just wanted to tell you that that global skill of English and Pearson test of English, that's not the only thing that Pearson company offers. There are course books that can be used to prepare for Pearson tests of English and also for any kind of examinations. Our new course books for primary school, Big English, for lower secondary school, Wider World. You can find out information on some leaflets you got today, and focus for teenagers from 15 up to 19 years. So the peculiarity of the courses: Big English focuses on 21st century skills, including developing critical and creative thinking. Wider World contains up to 6 video per unit. That's a modern course. Focus that's very strong, with a very strong focus on developing vocabulary. And all Pearson courses have a digital online platform. If you don't want to use a traditional paper workbook, you can create a class in this platform. And besides, if you have never had such an experience and you want just to try it, I need to tell you that probably you don't know that all teachers can get free access to My English Lab and to an electronic library for teachers, which is called ePanel. And there are links in my presentation how to ask for it. And if you need me to show you and to explain you everything, please come up to me. Even if you don't want to participate in the whole workshop tomorrow, you can just come up to room 1 and I will show you, and I will give, simply I don't have internet access here, but I was promised to be provided with the internet access in the room tomorrow. Okay, so that's about the main courses and the opportunities they can provide teachers with. Let's go on. That's a correlation table with the exams for all the course books. You can consult it as a reference in my presentation more. Also, all the books, including Focus and Wider World, have just sample exam papers with explanations. What skills are tested and how to prepare, how to work on developing these skills and soft skills. So these are examples of these test booklets. You can look at the books and you can look at all the booklets on the bookstall during the break, because I saw there are all of them on the bookstore. And they promised that they will be here tomorrow. Okay, so let's move on. Besides, as I have said, so learning environment, it's not just a classroom. It is a combination of different components, including course books, assessments, online platform for blended learning, and all that is created by Pearson. Take a look. There are online placement tests to identify the level of your students, and they have created already placement speaking test that takes about 40 minutes, and you can take it online without any teachers, and you get results instantly. Your level will be identified and you will get results instantly. Go on. So, and Language Просвещение have created and have worked out a special program for extracurricular preparation courses, which are based on our titles, which I have already mentioned: Big English, Wider World, and Focus, and to prepare for Pearson test of English. We provide you with all the support. If your educational institution is interested in participating in the program, we will provide you with a program for that. For this extracurricular classes, and we will give you training on how to work on with these course books. It is not just that we are going to tell you what is there in the book. We have a step-by-step, lesson-by-lesson, task-by-task, detailed walkthrough through one unit of every level of every book. This is one thing. We also provide you with training on Pearson test of English and on how to prepare for your students for the test. So all the things that we promise to help with are listed here. If you are interested, just let us know and we can help you even though you are so far away. Because thanks to technologies, modern technologies, we can connect online, we can connect in webinars, in Skype, and we can get to you via the internet. Move on. Okay, so these are our contacts, where to find us. And so let us skip some of the slides because I see that people are just, let's skip. The only thing I wanted to say, you have seen global scale of English, which helps you to provide your students with objectives. Just skip everything up to the last slides with again. Just just back. Okay, so let's stop here. So as I have said already, so first of all, global scale of English, placement test, progress test, online platform, My English Lab, e-text, electronic books, which are actually a work of magic, which can be used as a software for your classes, for your smart board, and you also can get it for free because you are teachers. Pearson gives everything to the teachers for free. You need just to write, to send your name, to send your email, and to put down what the title you want to get. That's it. So let's move on. This is the placement test. Okay, so let's move on. This is the global scale of English, and the next slide just stop here. The global scale of English I was talking about. You see, this is the online shop, and it looks like this. So learning objectives. Then you choose a learner, and you choose a skill, and this is so. It's so inconvenient without a pointer. So you can move these just to choose the level. You can move this scale and click and get the learning objectives for your particular type of learners. Then the next bar is grammar, and it works the same way. The next bar is vocabulary. It works the same way too. Okay, let's move on. So this is what this teacher toolkit contains, again for your reference. Let's move on. My English Lab, it's either for blended courses or for online courses. It's really convenient. You don't have to check your students' workbooks. And you have all the, so who has tried My Grammar Lab? Who knows anything about My Grammar Lab? Yes, so some people know. So, and almost every Pearson coursebook has a similar online workbook which can be used instead of a paper book. Or in addition, for example, for such courses as IELTS preparation course. So let's move on. This is My English Lab, and go on. So, just to sum up, Pearson, the world's largest learning company, creates all-inclusive, state-of-the-art learning ecosystem, considering all the things they create. So, on one of my previous slides, you could see that annually they invest up to $1 billion into technologies. It is a fast-developing technological educational company, and the future belongs to technology, as you know. Okay, so last slide. So language просвещение, we represent Pearson and просвещение here in Russia. And the next. You have questions. The next. We have answers. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for being patient. And if you are interested, if you have got hooked, you will get all the links for getting further information And you can contact me tomorrow during my workshops. Thank you.